Okay, this is the video for page 364. You're doing 2 to 24 even, and I'm going to do the odd problems. Okay, so we're talking about complex fractions here. Remember, the first thing I want you to do is number the numerator 1 and the denominator 2. And step 1 is always to set the numerator to 1 fraction, and then step 2 is always to set the denominator to 1 fraction. My numerator is already 1 fraction. My denominator is already 1 fraction. So then step 3 is always to multiply by the reciprocal of the denominator. So I'm going to say 6x over 5 is the reciprocal of the denominator, and you multiply that times the numerator and the denominator. In the denominator, everything cancels. And then see what cancels in the numerator. So 5 and 10 can become 1 and 2. And then 6x and 3x, the x's cancel out completely. And the 3 and the 6 become 1 and 2. So then when you multiply what's left, you have 2 times 2 is 4. Over 1 times 1 is 1. So then your answer is just 4. Okay? So 1 and 2. So step 1 is to get this into 1 fraction. So right now it's 1 over 1 plus 2/5. So you need a common denominator. That common denominator is 5. So 2/5 is going to stay the same. So remember, bottom into bottom times top. 1 goes into 5 times. 5 times 1 is 5. And then we've got a common denominator of 5. Do 5 plus 2 is 7. So your new numerator is 7/5. Okay, now we're going to do 2. Right now we have 2 over 1 plus 3/5. So again, your common denominator is going to be 5. So this one stays the same, 3/5. Here you're going to go bottom into bottom times top. So 1 into 5, 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10. So then when you add these together, you're going to get 13 over 5. So that's what I'm going to put down here. Then step 3 is multiply by the reciprocal of the denominator. So you flip over the denominator and you multiply it times the numerator and denominator. So your denominators cancel, and then in your numerator you're left with 7/5 times 5/13. I'm just going to bring that down here. This is still step 3. Your 5's cancel, and you're left with 7 over 13, or 7/13. Okay. 1 is get the numerator to be 1 fraction. It is. 2 is to get the denominator to be 1 fraction. It is. Always put parentheses around your binomials. So step 3 is multiply by the reciprocal of the denominator. So I flipped over the denominator, and you're going to multiply it times the numerator and denominator. So down here, everything cancels. And then up here, your x minus 1's cancel. So you're actually just left with 4 over x when you multiply your numerators and then multiply your denominators. Okay? Here we've got 1 and 2. So I'm going to do 1 first. 1 over 1 minus 2 over x. So the common denominator is x. One over 1 is the same as x over x. And then we're going to leave this as 2 over x. So you end up with x minus 2 over x. So this is my new numerator. And then if I do x over 1 plus 4 over 9x, okay, your common denominator is 9x. Okay, what is this denominator missing that this one has? A 9x. So you're going to multiply that here. So then you end up with 9x squared plus 4. So it's going to be 9x squared plus 4 over 9x. This is your denominator. Okay, so when I rewrite it, I'm going to do x minus 2 in parentheses over x all over 9x squared plus 4 over 9x. Multiply by the reciprocal of the denominator in your numerator and denominator. So notice down here, these cancel, these cancel. Up here, your x's cancel, but that's all that can cancel. So you're left with 9 times x minus 2 over 9x squared plus 4. You cannot cancel the 9's because this is 9x squared plus 4. It's not just 9. So that is your final answer. All right. So you want one fraction in the numerator, one fraction in the denominator. Well, my numerator is actually already one fraction. The only thing I can do is put parentheses around this. My denominator, however, is not, so we're going to deal with that. So I've got 2 over y minus 1 over x. So the LCD for this would be xy, right? So then you're going to say, what does this denominator have that my common denominator doesn't? An x. You're going to multiply that times the numerator. And then here, what does this denominator have that this one doesn't? A y. So you're going to multiply that. So then you end up with 2x minus y as your denominator. So I'm going to rewrite it. Step 3 is to rewrite it. So 4x squared minus y squared over xy all over 2x minus y over xy. So then in step 3, you multiply by the reciprocal of the denominator. So notice these cancel, these cancel, these cancel, and you're left with, oh, notice, did anything jump out at you guys there? I hate when I can't get it to erase for some reason. Notice here, 4x squared minus y squared, that's difference of squares. So we can rewrite that as 2x plus y times 2x minus y over, and all we have left in the denominator is 2x minus y. And then notice what happens, those cancel, and you're just left with 2x plus y as your answer. Okay, we already have a single fraction in the numerator and denominator, so we're going to multiply by 6 over 2x minus 1 and 6 over 2x minus 1. So the 3 and the 6 can become 1 and 2, and then you're left with 2 times x plus 3 over 2x minus 1. Okay, apparently in the original problem this was supposed to be a 1, so this should be a 1. So the original problem was wrong, but the only difference is it was x plus 1 instead of x plus 3, so nothing changes in your actual work. Okay, so this right here should have been a 1 instead of a 3. Okay, so now we have step 1 and step 2. Step 1 is to get one fraction in the numerator. So I need an LCD. My LCD is going to be x squared. So then looking at this fraction, looking at this denominator, what's it missing? It's missing an x, so that gets multiplied by the numerator. Looking at this one, what's it missing? It's not missing anything. So I'm going to get 2x plus 3 here. That's my numerator now. And then my denominator, I have 4 over x squared minus 9 over x. So my LCD is also x squared for this one. So what is this denominator missing that my common denominator has? Nothing. What is this denominator missing? Just an x. So here we're going to say 4 minus 9x. And that's going to be my denominator. So I'm going to rewrite it. 2x plus 3 over x squared all over 4 minus 9x over x squared. Is that right? Yep. Okay. So then when I multiply by the reciprocal of the denominator in my numerator and denominator, these cancel, these cancel, these cancel, and you're left with 2x plus 3 over 4 minus 9x. Can't do anything with those, so you're done. Okay. 1 and 2. 1, you have 1 over x plus 2 over x squared. You need an LCD. Your LCD is x squared. This denominator is missing a single x, so you multiply that times the numerator. This denominator isn't missing anything, so you're good. So you're going to do x plus 2. So that's your new numerator. And then we have x over 1 plus 8 over x squared. So your common denominator is going to be x squared. What is this one missing that this has? The entire x squared. What is this missing that this has? Nothing. So you're going to do x cubed plus 8. Okay? So now we're going to rewrite it. X plus 2 over x squared over x cubed plus 8 over x squared. Factor by the reciprocal of the denominator. These cancel, these cancel, these cancel. And you're left with x plus 2 over x cubed plus 8. But looking at x cubed plus 8, is there anything I can do to that? Can't I do the roller coaster? So 1 goes up here, 2 goes back here. 1 goes up here, 2 goes back here. This becomes 2x because of the loops. And then it's scream or puke. So you end up with x plus 2 over x plus 2 times x squared minus 2x plus 4. Notice your x plus 2's cancel, and you're left with 1 over x squared minus 2x plus 4. Don't forget, just because everything cancels in the numerator doesn't mean you don't need to write anything. That gives you a 1 there. All right. We're going to do 1 here, 2 here. So 1 says 4 over 5 minus x plus 5 over x minus 5. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to factor a negative 1 out of this. And then I'm going to flip it around. So it now says negative 1 times x minus 5. So my LCD is negative 1 times x minus 5. This one isn't missing anything. This one's missing a negative 1. So this is going to become 4 minus 5 in the numerator. So then you have negative 1 over negative 1 times x minus 5. Those cancel. So your new numerator is going to be 1 over x minus 5. So that's your new numerator. And then your denominator is 2 over x plus 3 over x minus 5. So your LCD is x times x minus 5. What is this one missing? An x minus 5. What is this one missing? An x. So you're left with 2 times x minus 5 plus 3x. Distribute your 2. You get 2x minus 10 plus 3x over x times x minus 5. Combine your like terms. 2x plus 3x is 5x minus 10 over x times x minus 5. Factor of 5 out of the numerator. You get x minus 2 over x times x minus 5. Now that is your new denominator. So I need to rewrite it. It's 1 over x minus 5 over 5 times x minus 2 over x times x minus 5. So multiply by the reciprocal of the denominator. These all cancel, these all cancel. The x minus 5's cancel up here, and you're just left with x over 5 times x minus 2. And that's your final answer. Okay, so now we're going to do 1 and 2. So 1 is x plus 2 over x minus 2 over x minus 1. So your LCD is x times x minus 1. So this is missing an x minus 1, and this is missing an x. So you need x minus 1 times x plus 2 minus 2x. So I'm going to factor those, and I get x squared plus 2x minus x minus 2 minus 2x. So notice this 2x and this 2x cancel. And remember, this is all over x times x minus 1. So this becomes x squared minus x minus 2 over x times x minus 1. Let's see if we can factor up here. We'll do x and x minus plus 2 and 1. And so that would be x squared plus or minus. Yep. So this can factor. So your new numerator is x minus 2 over x plus 1 over x times x minus 1. That's your new numerator. Now let's find your new denominator. We've got x plus 1 over x plus x plus 1 over x minus 1. So your common denominator is going to be x times x minus 1. This one is missing an x minus 1. This one is just missing an x. So you have x minus 1 times x plus 1 plus x times x plus 1. So this is going to become x squared plus x minus 1 plus x squared plus x, all over x times x minus 1. So x minus x cancel each other out, leaving you 2x squared, because x squared and x squared is 2x squared, plus x minus 1 over x times x minus 1. See if we can factor this one. I have 2x and 2x plus minus 1 and 1. Oh, I'm sorry, 2 and 1. It's factors of 2 that give me 1. Then divide a 2 out of this, which would give you, I don't know where to write it, x plus 1 times 2x minus 1. Let's see, 2x, so it'd be minus x plus 2x, yep, that's right, over x times x minus 1. So this is your new denominator. Okay, so let's see, your old denominator is x minus 2 times x plus 1. X minus 2 times x plus 1 all over x times x minus 1. And then over x plus 1 times 2x minus 1 all over x times x minus 1. So multiply by the reciprocal of the denominator. And see what cancels. So all of this in the denominator will cancel. And then this x cancels this x minus 1 cancels this x minus 1, this x plus 1 cancels this x plus 1, and you're just left with x minus 2 over 2x minus 1. Okay, so I've got 1 and 2. So for 1, I have 2 over x plus 3 over 1. The LCD is x. This isn't missing anything. This is missing an x. So it becomes 2 plus 3x. This is my numerator. And my denominator is 4 over x squared minus 9 over 1. So the LCD is x squared. This isn't missing anything. This is missing an x squared. So it's 4 minus 9x squared, which you should immediately realize is difference of squares. So it's 2 plus 3x 2 minus 3x over x squared. That's your new denominator. So you've got 2 plus 3x over x all over, when we rewrite this, 2 plus 3x, 2 minus 3x over x squared. Multiply by the reciprocal of the denominator. Okay, those cancel, those cancel, those cancel, those cancel. This cancels one of these, so you're still left with an x in the numerator. So you have x over 2 minus 3x. Okay? And then you've got 1, 2. So I've got 1 over 1 minus x over y. So the LCD is y. What is this missing? Just a y. What is this missing? Nothing. So you do y minus x. That's your new numerator. And your new denominator is x squared over y squared minus 1 over 1. So the LCD is x squared. This isn't missing anything. This is missing a y squared. So you have to multiply a y squared right here. So this is x squared minus y squared, which you should notice is difference of squares. So it becomes x plus y times x minus y over y squared. That's your new denominator. Okay, so now you want to put the new numerator over the new denominator. So you have y minus x over y all over x plus y, x minus y over y squared. So multiply by the reciprocal of the denominator. These cancel, these cancel. This cancels one of these. So I'm left with y minus x over x plus y, x minus y. So something should jump out at you here. You should realize that you need to factor a negative 1 out of this. If I factor a negative 1 out, I get negative y plus x, and this is still over x plus y, x minus y. But then if I rewrite it, it ends up being x minus y. And so then that can then cancel this x minus y, leaving you with just negative 1 over x plus y. And that will be your final answer. And I missed something, I apologize. I forgot about this y right here. So this y should also be being multiplied right here. So when you pulled out a negative 1, it would be negative y. So the answer is negative y over x plus y. Sorry about that, guys. That was completely my fault. All right, you guys have an awesome night, and I will see you in class tomorrow.